Welcome to Your Legacy Stories podcast. Your host, Natalie McQueen, helps people from all walks of life to create, live, and preserve their legacy for future generations to enjoy. Natalie became a legacy designer after a near-death experience that made her completely reevaluate the legacy she was leaving in this world. She is also a book publisher who has guided over 500 authors to become international bestsellers. Natalie's mission is to help you craft the legacy you deserve, encourage you to live it to the fullest, and then preserve it for future generations to enjoy. On this show, her guests share moments of purpose, gratitude, wisdom and tradition, and of course, their legacy stories.
Well, hello, everyone. This is Natalie McQueen with Your Legacy Stories podcast. I am super excited. I have 5 incredible women today from the Soul of a Diamond book. And these ladies are from all over the place, and we're going to hear some incredible stories and why they were part of this and just some different aspects of their life. So, Sinette, I would like you to do a quick introduction and then tell what advice would you give to someone that would want to start sharing their story, but maybe, hasn't yet or is nervous to.
Thank you for asking, my beautiful Natalie. I am Sinette van Breda. I am from Johannesburg, South Africa. I am your voice amplifier, creating spaces and platforms for millions of people on all my platforms all around the world. So your question today is, what can I tell somebody to share their story? So if I can look you in the eye, and my eyes is the soul, my eyes is the soul, the window to my soul, I can tell you, you are here for a reason. You are the only person that knows exactly what to do and what not to do. And maybe, just maybe, there's somebody waiting for you. So please, I will ask you very nicely, share your story. Take a deep breath, because your story is truly magnificent, and the value will be in there for somebody else. So, take a step. I almost fall on top of my computer. Take a step and just do it. Thank you.
I thought you almost fell off your chair. I love that.
But I almost fall into my computer. But take the step and do it. Just do it. You don't know how many people will read your story and will change their lives. Thank you for asking.
No, that's so true. We think that, oh, my life wasn't that interesting, or I don't have something to share. And then when they read or find out and they're like, oh my gosh, I learned from you, or you inspired me to go beyond. It's incredible. So Angel Marie, welcome. I'm so excited you're part of this project. And can you share a little bit about yourself and then share a memorable moment or turning point in your life that significantly changed or shaped your journey in joy and resilience?
Fabulous. Thank you so much for having me today. I so appreciate you. And who I am is powerful, loving, and an intuitive. And what I am is a TV producer and show host, also a Reiki master and author and Tai Chi instructor. And I choose to live my life with integrity, honesty, and joy. That's who I am. And how did things change me in that turning point? That would be way back when I almost died 4 times. And every single time that I almost died, I went back to studying the power of energy, studying the power of nutrition, and then also studying the power of mindset. And when I put all of those together in those studies, every single time I almost died, I recognized vibration, frequency, and quantum physics, and understanding how the neural nets, how we really come together, and how I was able with so much resilience to come back from that and heal myself. And that took the hope. And the hope is reaching out to Natalie, reaching out to Sinead and saying, hey, I'm having a hard time. Things aren't so great. Can you help me? Pray with me, be with me, breathe with me, encourage me. But it's showing up and asking for help. So viewers, listeners, if you get anything from me today, remember that you're going to have those special people in your life that can help you, yet you have to cultivate those. And every time I almost died, I went back to the basics of that. You have the vibrational field and the power to come up. Yet it does take the friends, the family.
Right. The village, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's beautiful because we talked to the easy
Sorry,
button.
ladies.
Absolutely.
Do
Do it.
this.
Was easy.
It's easy.
Yeah,
Everything
and
is
sometimes
easy.
it doesn't feel easy, especially if we're down or we're struggling. We think we shouldn't reach out to people. We don't want to bother them. And that's what I love about communities like what Sanette, you've put together, the Diamond Beauties Forever. I mean, that statement alone shows that intertwining of all of us doing business on our own, but we come together as a supportive network. So, Mary J, how are you making the world a better place? What part of the world are you from?
Okay, so my name is Mary Jane Robinson, and I'm the founder of the Sensory Courtyard and the owner of Kaleidoscope Energy. And I am from Fremont, Nebraska, if any of you have heard of that before. It's close to Omaha. I'm a dedicated warrior against adversity and an expert in teaching students with visual impairments. That's how the Sensory Courtyard became formed. And I faced acute myeloid leukemia twice, which deepened my commitment to life. And I love inspiring others through my journey, which is chronicled in Seed, Stem, Bloom, Lessons from My Faith-Led Journey Through Cancer. And I actually met Sanette through another friend. And I just was so excited when she mentioned this Soul of the Diamond book. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to be part of this, because I feel like if I can just touch one person and help them through a challenging time in their life, whether it's cancer or something else, and I feel like that's a job well done. I'm here for a purpose. And let's see, as far as a significant turning point in my life, as far as joyous goes, I want to talk a little bit about how I got into this energy work. I was actually at a cancer survivorship program with my husband, and a lady came in and she started like talking about ways to calm ourselves. And I mean, honestly, I'd never heard of Reiki before. I've never heard of energy work before this. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this lady for real? And my husband was trying to do it on me because we had our partners. And I was like, okay, this isn't working. And so she came up to me, placed her hands on me, and I felt like my spine shift. And I was like, I need more. So I asked for her number. Ever since then, this was like 2015, I think, I'm a Reiki master. I'm a certified healing touch practitioner. I've studied other modalities. I'm just a lifelong learner, and I'm telling you, it is amazing. So Angel, I agree with you. It's just amazing. So I feel like that has led me to a new passion. Cancer can be a blessing.
Yeah, and your story taking us through that, I'm not going to tell it all because I want readers to purchase the book and really go through your words and story, but what you've done is incredible, and I love your passion for helping others. So thank you very much.
You. Thank you.
So Krista Rose, we are so excited you're here today. What inspired you? Introduce yourself and then share what inspired you to be part of the Soul of a Diamond, and what do you hope readers take away from your chapter?
So, first of all, I'm from Ontario, Canada, and I am so passionate about bringing awareness to rare diseases, invisible diseases, as well as different kinds of energy work. I want to make that the norm. I am an author of Skip the Pain, Experience the Pleasure, that made Amazon #1 bestseller. I'm also a speaker and a nutritionist and so many other certifications and modalities. But what inspired me to be part of this book was when I was going through tragedies. So a couple little examples is when I was younger, I only had 10% hearing, and it was very difficult for me to even speak. And I had to learn and go through adversity to relearn how to speak. And as I grew up, I ended up in a head-on collision and I survived that. But I had so many injuries from that. Moving on, I got married to the love of my life, and we only found out for 2 weeks that he had leukemia, and he passed away in my arms. And right now, I'm battling a chronic illness. So, which is why I am trying to bring so much awareness to pretty well everything, the grieving process. I healed so when I was going through my stuff, there was nothing out there, nothing like this. So when Soul of a Diamond was offered to me, I thought, what another platform to share my message and hopefully give someone else something that they can pick up and they can read. Because I've used all this to help heal myself, body, mind, and soul. So yeah, it's been so inspiring.
And you know what, your journey and everything you've been through, and you just bring this positive attitude and this feeling of I can do it too. Angel's going, the energy, she's got great energy, right? And it's something that you're going to be able to help many people with. So thank you.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
Val, how are you making the world a better place? What area of the world are you from? And tell us something surprising, like a fact about you that the readers don't know that may be intriguing.
Well, I'm Val Burgess. I live in Sheridan, Wyoming, which is close to the Montana border. It's a beautiful place with the mountains against the community. And I, as a child, always looked for something that would bring to me something that could change the world. My uncle was at my grandmother's funeral, and he said, I want to go back to the prison camp I was in during World War II. And he kept saying it. And I finally got tired of it. I said, well, just go. And he said, no, I want someone to help me take a large group, which we did in 1995. And so before that, we sent out thousands of letters, and people would call and they ended this story, asking the questions with a story that was so impactful, so incredible. It was like, no, I can't believe it. When in 2001, my husband was dying of bone marrow cancer, and we moved to Seattle for a stem cell transplant. And I was everything. I was who was paying the bills. I was the mother of the children. I was his caregiver. I was everything. And I was so fragile. I felt like I would shatter. I was talking to one of the POWs, Jim Keefe, as a matter of fact. And I said, this is how I feel. And I just can't believe it. And he said to me, my dear, you have just experienced combat. Now, I'm not saying I've experienced anything like the combat that many of these soldiers go through, but the feelings and how fragile I was, I think I understand. And I was so grateful for that, because I can almost tell it in other people. And I'm kind of reserved. I keep back to myself. I don't really share much. But the World War II POWs gave me those skills that I never learned from my family. I left it a long time ago, but they have given me so much power. You could give me any subject and I could tell you a story.
Wow.
And some of them are horrible and some of them are amazing, but they're just the stories of people who really did care about this world, and they gave it all. Some of them really did give it all.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. That's inspiring.
And of course, Mary knows, don't you, Mary? Wasn't it your husband was in the military?
Yes, my husband was just in the National Guards when he was younger, but for 6 years. I don't know if it was me that you were talking to or not.
Oh, maybe not. Sorry.
No, that's okay. He was in the National Guards.
Val, how do you stay motivated, especially when in difficult times?
I was given a gift of hundreds and hundreds of stories. I have some of the largest collections in the United States of different things that are related to World War II. And they have entrusted me with their story, with their lives, with things that no one else has, no one will ever have, because I was gifted this. And so I need to go into schools. I need to talk to men and women who want to have personal growth. I need to talk to veterans. My story talks about a POW who almost died really 5 times. And yet when he left Nagata, Japan, and he got to Tokyo and the city was burned and everything was gone, he decided to unconditionally forgive his captors. And he said, I can teach anyone how to do that. And he gave me a simple theory of how to do that. And I would love to use that with anyone, because I have used that in 2 situations where it made my life, when I did the unconditional forgiveness process, my heart got bigger and bigger. I opened up, and truly it was a miracle that I was surprised and really embraced now. So I think
Everybody
unconditional
needs to know that.
forgiveness is something that we all can do for sure.
Absolutely. Well, wow. We need to have you back on to teach us that. And Krista, so what was a favorite family tradition that you had as growing up?
That's a great question, because there was a lot of different things, but one thing that really was, kind of impactful in my life was we would go camping. So it started off, yes, in a tent. And as we got older, and as it ended up being a trailer with a sunroom, and it wasn't really camping, but it was in a campsite. So I think the idea of escaping the hustle and bustle of everyday life, being around nature, being around water. And I ended up actually getting Lyme disease from camping. I had a tick and had the bullseye rash. Way back then, they didn't understand the treatments. And I also, from a car accident and other things, have fibromyalgia and hyperthyroidism. So having a place to go and rest. And even though it sounds like camping would be, you can go, but just sitting by the water, being in nature, and using different ways of healing myself and quieting the mind. So absolutely loved it.
That's amazing. So having that time just to kind of go inward, right? What do you think that's one of the things that really helped you in your healing?
100%. I think that getting away and not having to be responsible for everything, because that's how I always felt. Even in my own family, my parents were divorced, so I took on the role of the woman in the house type of thing. So when we were out, I was able to be Krista, be a 14-year-old, or be a 20-year-old. Like, it didn't matter. I was able to be me. And yes, definitely take the time to, if I experience a pain, I can rest, which is so important. If I experienced anything, I could, just ground. So yeah, 100%.
And Mary, let's talk about let's talk about who made the biggest impact on your life. Maybe
this
not
one's
the
kind of a
biggest,
tough
but
one.
someone that has made a huge
Yeah.
impact on your life.
Well, I mean, of course, my parents are amazing. And so if I had to choose between the two, because I love both of them so much, we're such a close-knit family. I know that it's my dad.
Yeah.
And even though my mom's my best friend, I love you, Mother, if you're listening.
I was going to say,
But anyway,
you're so brave to do this on a recording.
I know. Well, I got to thinking, he's always been my hero. I just think the world of him. He has overcome adversity. He's the oldest of 10. He was from a very, very poverty-stricken home. And, you know, he went into the Air Force. He made something of himself. He went on to get his doctorate in education. He's a lifelong learner. He's a genius. Oh my gosh, you ask my father something, and if he doesn't know the answer, which is very rare, he'll tell you after he researches it. Like he's just amazing in my eyes. When my brother and I were little and we were poor because he was going to college and my mom was a teacher too, um, we would call it dumpster diving. Have you heard of dumpster diving?
I
We
have.
would go and find these toys that people didn't want, and my dad would rebuild them for Matt and I, my brother and I, and we took them gratefully. And you know what? That's a man.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's incredible. Well, cheers to both your parents because an
Thank you.
amazing job. But thank you, Dad.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Angel Marie, what what is one thing that you want people to remember you for?
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for asking that. And I'm so gracious to be here with all of you amazing ladies. Oh my gosh, in the book. Beautiful. I guess one thing that I want is for people to remember how I cheered you on, how I helped you with your vibrational field, how I showed up for you every single time. And yet I was hard on you and had you do certain things. Many of you have seen me or been on my TV show, and you know that is with love. But to remind, to come back, and I'm going to echo what Krista said, because going out into nature, I teach so many things for the last 30 years with this spirit, being a spiritual guide. And one of those things that people remember is all the little methods, systems that I give you to keep your vibration up, no matter what is happening in your world, how you can continue to be in your own field and be in that positive way to feel better. I think that's what it is. So thank you for asking, Natalie.
And you embrace that so well. I mean, when Sanette and I went up to Sedona with you, it was literally magical. You took us on a journey. Yeah, let's cheers to that. Sanette, I want you to tell us what is something that's on your legacy list. And the legacy list is similar to a bucket list, but it's everything. There she goes. Everything that you want to achieve or do or have or create. So share one thing.
So for me, since 2006, I kept a diary. Most of my diaries is like this, and then there is a key, a lock that will go in here. But this year I changed one thing. I changed that I just wrote in English. Because my newest grandson, you know, they are going to learn a little bit of Afrikaans, but even the 4-year-old grandson is totally English. So I decided, because if the history of our family, the history of what the Oma has done, everything is written up since 2006. So sometimes my daughter will say to me, Mom, when did Xander get his first teeth? And if I can remember, I quickly will go and fetch all we call it a diary, like you call it a journal, but this is our diary. I will go and fetch it and quickly go through and read a little bit of the things I've forgotten. So this is, I have done, I don't actually know how many, but since I do about 2 to 3 a year, since 2006, my legacy for my family, to not only my history, but my children, my husband, when he have received his Protea colors, you know, the highest sport accolades in South Africa in archery, every date, everything is being dotted and teed. Everything is in here. So this is my legacy for my children's children's children.
Nice. That's beautiful and so meaningful, right? It's those little things. My mother-in-law is very good at documenting all the things. Like she could be like, oh no, we went to this restaurant and we had this. Like she's so good that she remembers and she puts it in her calendars, and then she makes these beautiful scrapbooks. handmade. She puts so much time and energy, and the entire family, hovers around and goes through them and enjoys the memories that we had together. So that's amazing. Well, thank you, ladies. I'm so excited. Everyone here is, let's see if I can, I don't think I can with my background on. They're on the cover. Their names are there. These ladies have given their heart and their soul into this book, and they will be making huge changes in the world as we read those and embrace their energy and their vibrations and their messages. So thank you for doing that, ladies. And we will be having many more interviews after the book comes out, because I want to really embrace how your world and your surroundings, after reading your chapter, came back, and what feedback did you get? That's what I love. So thank you so much. Everyone have a great day, and we will talk soon.
Thank you, Natalie.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Your Legacy Story Podcast. If you would like to share your legacy story with Natalie or get your legacy book started, please reach out at giftsoflegacy@gmail.com. Be sure to add My Legacy Stories in the subject line. We would love to help you share your legacy message out to the world. Natalie would like to invite you to join our private Facebook group, Create Your Legacy Life. She shares tips on book publishing, ways to create and leave your legacy, and she interviews the most amazing legacy creators, sharing their moments of purpose, gratitude, wisdom, and tradition, and of course, their legacy stories. See you next week.